Tzu Chi volunteers launched a successful recycling program in Gulangyu, even doing recycling during Lantern Festival. A disabled watch repair person in Nihu is cared for by Tzu Chi volunteers for the past decade. I'm Sean Scanlon. This is the Headlines. Let's get started. Tzu Chi volunteers from Xiamen run a very successful recycling program in Gulangyu, where the local residents look forward to Recycling Day, even if it falls on a holiday such as Lantern Festival. Take a look at our report.
Lantern Festival on Gulangyu is very festive. It also lands on Recycling Day for Tzu Chi. Thus, Xiamen Tzu Chi volunteers visit the island and showed up early to make glutinous rice rounds to add to the celebration. Thankfully, a vegetarian restaurant owner lent the volunteers her kitchen to help.
Helping the less fortunate elderly makes my heart warm. It's like cooking for my own mother.
The volunteers carry the dessert by hand and visit each recipient. They don't forget to thank the store owners for helping to safeguard our environment.
这是不是一颗汤圆？
是，
像一个月亮。
是团团圆圆。虽然我置身在外，但有我家里母亲的味道。
很细腻吧？
非常的细腻。
At the park, the seniors who are helping to sort recyclables also receive the sweet dessert. Among them is Xue Jianming, who is blind and looks forward to the volunteers' visit each time.
You know, we're old and no one cares for us, so you come with warm greetings for us. Life is much sweeter with you in it.
I knew you'd be here today, so I especially went to my friend's house and brought another full load.
Recycling Day does not take a break during the holiday. On this day, volunteers brought a gift for Granny Chen Muying, who continues to wear her sneakers despite the holes in it.
Tzu
Chi volunteers continue to care for these ambassadors of recycling with love and detail.
In caring for seniors who live on their own, Tzu Chi volunteers in Muar, Malaysia, made meals for them. They also encourage seniors to keep a vegetarian diet. Here's more.
On the 15th day of the Lunar New Year, this kitchen is brimming with delicious smells of food, as Muar Tzu Chi volunteers are making a meal for 43 of their long-term care recipients and elder Tzu Chi volunteers to celebrate Lantern Day.
We wanted to celebrate the Lantern Festival with them by preparing a meal. The master's red envelope of blessing and wisdom, some sweets and mandarin oranges to top it off. Although we are still under the risk of the pandemic, if we take care to follow all the safety measures, we can still share our well wishes with them. This year is pretty special. It's the 55th year. We wish you peace and happiness, and may fortune and wisdom fall upon you. After all, being physically healthy is the most important.
As these old friends haven't seen each other in a while, it is always good to catch up. The volunteers also invite the seniors to participate in the vegetarian campaign, which is good for the environment and their health. The senior puts coins in her bamboo bank each day, and knowing the volunteers are visiting today, she brought out her bamboo bank to donate.
Akira Oyamatsu and his wife are Tzu Chi volunteers. They are originally from Japan but moved to Taiwan 5 years ago. Poor health have prevented this couple from joining many activities, as a Dharma family recently visited to celebrate a birthday. Take a look.
Life begins at 70. With 5 more years on that, birthday boy Akira Oyamatsu makes a wish for health and happiness for everyone.
Thank you, Tzu Chi brothers, for being cake for me and caring about me. Thank you for your well wishes.
His wife was certified as a Tzu Chi volunteer in Japan, but they moved to Taiwan 5 years ago. He is also involved in doing volunteering, but this past year, they have not joined many activities and the volunteers have come calling.
He's Japanese and he's not in his best condition. He doesn't have many family members here in Taiwan. So just like the calligraphy art in his home, when living in a foreign land, holidays are spent missing family.
As the volunteers were visiting during the spring holiday, the home was quite lively. The couple even prepared tea and snacks, as well as showing off some calligraphy art.
I hope my husband can take the well wishes of the Tzu Chi brothers and sisters and get well soon. When the Jingsi Hall is complete, we'll be ready to dedicate our time as volunteers.
With blessings and well wishes, Tzu Chi volunteers value and treasure each and every Bodhisattva family.
In Hualien, the No Meat Market is going to be held at Tzu Chi University. Students and staff members of Tzu Chi Foundation have worked together to make full use of items in the school to set up the venue. They also incorporated some waste items as decoration, hoping to promote the ideals of vegetarianism and zero waste. Here's more.
To prepare for the upcoming No Meat Market event, Tzu Chi Foundation's General Affairs Department staff members and students from Tzu Chi University worked together to set up the venue.
In total, we've used around 100 meeting tables and 200 small white stools.
For Sun Bo-jun, he gave up his holidays and volunteered in preparing for the event. He has also learned the benefits of being a vegetarian from the event.
I would like to have a different holiday compared to others, so I started by volunteering here today. I'm also able to further understand the No Meat Market and the ideals they're promoting. What they're doing is actually to promote the benefits of being a vegetarian to us.
Using old tires, second-handed wooden box and discarded logs to decorate the stage, they have truly achieved their goal of zero waste.
For our No Meat Market, besides promoting a vegan diet, we're also promoting a sustainable lifestyle. It's hoped that when we're carrying out our event, we'll not produce excess rubbish.
From environmental protection to human interactions, the main goal of this market is to cultivate the love for the earth and all living beings in each and every one of us.
The No Meat Market partnered for the first time with Tzu Chi Foundation, with Tzu Chi University hosting a talk on the positive impact of plant-based diets and the environment. There were 6 speakers covering a variety of topics, including how to promote vegan food, how to eat it, and how to cook it, and how to save the planet. Here's more.
Using the idea of a market to spread the plant-based diet and zero waste, this No Meat Market has traveled across Taiwan's 7 major cities, with tens and thousands of visitors. On this day, it is in Hualien.
I want people who come to this talk to get a clear understanding of why they are here at the No Meat Market and what is in the food they are eating, so they can go home with a firm understanding of how they can apply it to their lives.
Born in the 90s, Hao and Yang are YouTubers with more than 160k subscribers. They have made over 100 videos on environmental protection and gourmet vegan food.
I didn't know in the beginning that being vegan could relate to the environment. It was only through research for our videos that I learned by not eating animals, it has major benefits on our planet.
I'm here from Taichung. When I saw the speaker list for the talk, I thought it was a pretty good lineup and decided to join the event in Hualien.
A group of young people inspired to save the planet by doing their own things comes together to inspire more people to accept perhaps a new way of eating for them.
At the Nehu Market, Shu Yongsen repairs watches for a living. He is in a wheelchair due to an accident when he was younger. However, he faces life with positivity and tries his best not to rely on anyone. Tzu Chi volunteers often visit him at the market, and their companionship has kept them together for the last 10 years.
Just on his bed, Shu Yongsen can take care of all he needs in life.
I didn't prepare very much today. Normally, I add in cabbage and some leafy veggies.
Suffering from a car accident at the age of 19 led to damaging his central nervous system and paralysis. In the past 40-some years, he had over 200 surgeries for debridement. The large hernia on his stomach is something he's come to live with. Despite being challenged with his mobility, he continues to go to the market to fix watches, as that's his normal. Tzu Chi volunteer Wu Xiuzhu also visits this market, which is further from her house, to buy her weekly groceries. She doesn't only go to the faraway market, but also buys more groceries than she needs.
He wants to use his own ability to live, and I'll say it's just on my way. Now it's much more natural on my part and his, because in the beginning when I would tell the white lies to help him, I felt very fake. But I don't feel that way anymore. He's naturally accepted my assistance, and we're in an agreement now.
Gaining trust of one another was the beginning of this friendship.
They have been with me for about 10 years now. They are good old customers of mine, but they didn't know how serious my condition was, and I didn't know how often I needed to be in the hospital. One year, my business was not going well, and I didn't have enough money for the medical bills, so I put out a donation box to help with my medical fees. They helped and donated about 1,000 NT dollars or so.
He hasn't received our subsidy help just yet. He's just like one of us. We're all the same. He might have some complications in keeping to his daily life, but he finds a way.
Accepting the events in his life, she lives a life of simplicity.
If you begrudge too much, then it gets tiring. I'm still alive, so that's a blessing on its own.
Lin Ziyan's husband suffered a sudden cerebral hemorrhage in Myanmar in 2019. As she was unaware of the local language and customs, local Tzu Chi volunteers accompanied her, even provide assistive devices and home renovations when they returned to Taiwan.
You can hear me?
No, he cannot hear you. So you just relax your mind and come.
In 2019, December 6th, my husband was in Myanmar and I received a phone call from his cell phone. In the call, the hospital told me that my husband is sick and is in the hospital. And through the video call, I saw my husband curling up on the bed. I felt emotionally beaten. The next morning, I packed up and took a flight to Myanmar. My cousin left a message about my situation on social media. And by coincidence, a Tzu Chi sister, Li Jinlan, is in Myanmar.
After we heard about her situation, we immediately went to the hospital, and because the husband is unresponsive and unconscious, we understand the worries and hopelessness one feels when their loved ones get into an accident overseas. So when we heard about Ziyan applying for a visa to Yangguang, we arranged for people to bring care.
My husband's blood pressure rose and his blood vessel cracked. His heartbeat was at 200 BPM. Shortly after, he suffered cerebral hemorrhage. The doctors told me that it's impossible to save him.
Daddy, try more time. If you hear me.
金兰师姐她马上就跟我说
Sister Jinlan told me, Ziyan, you don't have to worry. Once you are here, you should take care of your husband. As for money, we will take care of it for you. The medical fees here are very high. A day in the ICU costs around $1,435 US.
申请一笔钱让我们度过医疗的负担。
Tzu Chi's sister Jinlan applied for the medical fee coverage, which also includes international SOS service. Transportation, living, and traveling expenses were all covered by Tzu Chi. So I felt that for 25 days, Tzu Chi has really given us infinite care and warmth.
25天。
We saw the toughness of Ziyan. She believes that her husband will get better, so we must support her. All of the volunteers treat her like a daughter.
After we are back in Hualien, and since my husband doesn't have a Taiwanese ID, he is unable to use the long-term care services and the assistive device rental service provided by the government. But after we contacted Tzu Chi's assistive device platform, we found out that we can actually receive these devices for free. What is even more heartwarming is that Tzu Chi even brought their assistive devices to our home, and whenever there are malfunctioning parts, they will repair it for free.
No matter if it's the bed or the oxygen concentrator, these devices may provide immediate care to Ziyan's husband. The devices are also eco-friendly, so it fits with our vision of charity and eco-friendliness. Now there are a total of 7,000 people who receive assistive devices from our platform.
Do you remember? We forever together. That's you tell me, right?
我很幸运有慈济人的帮忙。
I am glad that Tzu Chi helped us, and if others are like me facing such difficulty,
我也会很想要积极的去帮助他们。
I would also want to help them. I will continue to take care of my family and be a role model for my children.
孩子跟照顾先生成为孩子的榜样。
In Taiwan, music volunteer Wang Tingyi performs a zither to form good affinities with people. She started playing zither 5 years ago and currently performs at Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital, and also at free clinics. Here's more.
The elegant zither performance is like people's first impression of Wang Tingyi. Wang, who always wears a qipao, started to play the zither 5 years ago. She learns to play the zither diligently.
I practice diligently at home every day. I may repeat a movement for more than 100 times.
She became the first zither playing volunteer in Holi, and she wants to do a good job. She plays the zither without looking at the music sheets.
I've memorized 50 to 60 songs. I can perform for 2 hours without looking at music sheets.
As Central District team members held free clinics, she was not absent. She also performed for the patients at the lobby of Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital.
心情会平静一点，会比较感觉比较舒服一点。礼拜六来都会听到老师在这边演奏。
The patient's feedback makes Wang more determined to work as a music volunteer. As her husband successfully started a business, she gives of herself with music performances.
As a volunteer, my job is to play zither well.
Last November, Yilan experienced 28 days of continuous rain, with locals joking about not seeing the sun. Living in rainy areas can be difficult, with people in Yilan learning how to live in harmony with nature.
Good sightseeing spots filled with people, night markets occupied with crowds, and traffic jams at the Xuezhan Tunnel. These impressions are how people perceive Yilan. When you think of souvenirs, you might come up with the scallion pancake and the Austin-shaped pastry, but actually the most famous product is the rain. Due to the constant rain in Yilan, many sayings are toasted around.
When the meteorology wasn't that advanced, we often used Guishan Island as an indicator. So there's a saying that whenever Guishan Island wears a hat, there will be a lot of water, which means that whenever clouds cover Guishan Island, there will be heavy rain. It's actually very true.
When warm humid air from the sea comes into the Yilan Plain, it will first hit Guishan Island. So when the humid stream comes into the Yilan Plain, and because of the rise in altitude, there'll be rain at the plain.
Yilan is geographically a river delta. In the spring there's rain. In the summer there is the East Asian rainy season, and in autumn there is northeast monsoon. Since the Xueshan Range blocks the humid air in Yilan Plain will ultimately experience heavy rain.
Especially in the winter, the northeast monsoon gets stronger, and once it gets here at the higher altitudes, there will be more rain at the surface.
According to records, Yilan had 220 days of rain out of 365 days, so we can see that Yilan is a region where precipitation is high.
Maybe the people in Yilan are used to the rainy weather. In 2020, October to December, rainfall broke records as within the 3 months 21, 23 and 27 days of rain were record. The abnormal weather had surprised people living in Yilan.
有观察到，对，比往年都下的比较多。
外地来这边游玩的比较少啊。
In 2020, October to December, the number of rainy days are higher on average, but it's not of a greater number in terms of rainfall. Around 40% of rainfall this year, which is greater than previous years.
It's like the rain never ends, especially in Su'ao Township. 1,102 millimeters of rain was recorded in November, the highest rainfall amount in Taiwan as of that month. The constant increase of rainfall caused several disasters in cities.
靠近我们东亚这一带的这个海温的这个情况是比较偏高了。
In East Asia, the sea temperature is a bit high and warm, so when the breeze comes from the south, the humidity will be pushed towards the north. When it arrives to Taiwan, and along with the northeast monsoon, it causes continuous rain locally.
Avoiding La Nina, for 30 years, Yilan has an average rainfall of 2,700 millimeters, higher than the 2,515 millimeters average of Taiwan. But the lack of sun actually spawned a special humanitarian field in Yilan.
The rain is closely connected with the daily lives of people in Yilan. There's a saying that the girl Ai is very beautiful. Kavalan tribe's rain is abundant. It's because the constant rain in Yilan's Kavalan tribe has made their girls look prettier. Tzu Chi Chicago branch moved events online due to the COVID pandemic with a total of 2 Lunar New Year blessings and Thanksgiving meetings held in Chinese, English, and Cantonese. We leave you with these images. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.